Welcome to Reread. Today I'm going through one short story. Yes, one short story that takes place in between the Jedi Academy trilogy per Kevin J. Anderson. This is Firestorm from Adventure Journal number 15. It's based about Tony. And if that's not how you pronounce her name, I don't care. That's how I've always said it, Tony. And she is very weak in the Force, even though she doesn't realize she has the Force. But she drives around, her ship is called the Lore Seeker. As if that doesn't tell you what she is. She's just a fan of Jedi history. And so she's been exploring little places in history. And she knows all about the history of the Jedi, especially 4,000 years ago during Tales of the Jedi, right? So someone, as she's a minstrel, and so she's playing her little instrument. Someone says, hey, I hear you pay information for Jedi stuff. He has the location to Exis Station. Now, Exis Station was where Nomi Sunrider gave her big commencement speech or whatever to a bunch of Jedi during or after the Great Sith War. And of course, there may be some Jedi artifacts there. So he's saying, hey, I'll give you the location if you kind of search for artifacts for me and maybe we can split the profits. She pays him for the information but says, you need to tell Luke Skywalker. She knows who Luke is. She heard the news that he's starting up his own Jedi Academy and he'd probably be interested too. Well, this guy's a smuggler. He's warned in several systems. He doesn't want to tell the New Republic, but she said, hey, they'll pay good money though. Now, somehow he meets up with Han. We're not told how, but Han gets a tip. He passes that tip to Luke. Luke goes ahead and pays him. Han says it could be a con, kid. Don't do it. He's like, no, I don't care. Let's pay him. Because if it is the real deal, I'd like to go. So he gets there right after Tony gets there, and Tony's looking around. Exis Station is getting pulled apart by a nearby sun. And so it could fall apart at any minute. So it's just kind of, they're trying to get in, get as much information they can, and get out. In fact, when Luke meets her, he's like, you're crazy. What are you doing here? She went, you're Luke Skywalker. I told them to come get you. Good. Look at all this stuff. This is from Nomi Sunrider. Isn't this awesome? And Luke can't read the ancient text, but she can, because she's a bigger study. He's like, oh, I haven't ever studied that. No one's ever taught me. But she can read it. And so together, later on, they end up saving Exis Station, taking back a very, very, very generic speech that Nomi Sunrider said. I gotta be honest, it's so generic. And I was like, evil, these are dark times, but the Jedi will shine through the night. And Tony said, those words ring true today. Yeah, because they're so generic. They're empty platitudes. Get out of here. But regardless, Luke asked her if she wants to come to the Academy because he does feel that she has she has some affinity to the Force, not that much, but because of all her lore and knowledge, she's definitely going to be an asset to his group. Oh, I should also mention in this short story, Kevin J. Anderson acts like Streen and Gantoris are the only two Jedi at the Academy, even though in the epilogue of Jedi Search, Luke is with a ton of Jedi. It talks about, a ton. I say Cam is there. I can't remember, he said Mara Jade. He sent out something to Mara Jade. And he mentions that there are a few other Jedi that he's come across in his past adventures who are all with him. So, it paints a picture that there's a lot more Jedi acolytes there than just Gantoris and Stream. But this short story, it seems to be just the two of them and no one else. Now, of course, Kevin J. Anderson did say that he left it open so that anyone could write in if they wanted to put their character into that first academy, they could. Because he said other Jedi that were around. Kind of a big, weak, empty loophole, but I get it. Overall, the story for Firestorm is okay. I mean, it's weird. As anyone a Tony fan, I guess you may like it for that. But other than that, I mean, it's not, you don't need it as part of the story. You're not missing anything in the trilogy. You're like, where'd Tony come from? Because she does pop up in the second book just all of a sudden, but not that you need to know the reason of how she got there. It may have even been a lost chapter or late idea from Kevin J. Anderson that he just had to cut out of the second book in the trilogy and he got to write it in the Adventure Journal instead. That could be a case too. I'm not really sure. But either way, it was all right. But I'll get on to my Jedi Academy trilogy, book 2, next time.